Well, hello. Hope you guys are having a good Friday. Um, once again, we're going to talk about some news. Got a bunch of very interesting news coming out in the last couple of days. Um, let's start it off. So, big problems in the cruise world this week. We're talking Carnival cancellations, a shocking $47,000 medical bill, and major disruptions caused by the Miami Marathon. So here's the latest. Carnival's making last minute changes to some of their itineraries, while a couple's free cruise vacation turns into a nightmare after an unexpected medical emergency racked up a massive bill. And if you're sailing out of Miami this weekend, expect some serious delays due to the Miami Marathon. But that's just the tip. Stick around because I'm going to break down how these events are impacting your cruise plans and what you need to know to avoid being caught in the middle of these troubles. Let's put it that way. Plus, I'll share some tips on how to protect yourself from some of the unexpected cruise costs. All right, here we go. First up, Carnival Cruise Line's making some changes to some of their itineraries for four of their ships. Now, these changes aren't for this year. They are for some are for this year, the end of 2025, and some into 2026. But the impact is pretty significant, especially for travelers who've already booked their vacations. So let's break it down. Carnival Valor. Carnival Valor is now going to Progresso instead of Costa Maya on a November 2025 sailing. That's a pretty big swap, in my opinion, but the upside is the port times are in Progresso are better. They're 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. instead of, I think it was 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So that could be a blessing in disguise for many of the travelers. Really, Ilio, you want to come say hello? Okay. He likes being on camera, so I'll let him. Next up, Carnival sailing out of Jacksonville on March 2 of 2026. They're switching from Princess Cays to Nassau for one of their port stops. So while Princess Cays is quieter, more beach focused kind of vibe, Nassau does have plenty to do, lots of tours, shopping, culture, so not necessarily a bad trade-off. Carnival Conquest is making a reverse move. They're switching Nassau for Celebration Key for its March 2026 sailing. Celebration Key is a new addition to Carnival's portfolio and promises a pretty unique experience. So that might be fun. And then finally, for this segment, Carnival Panorama, which sails from Long Beach, California, swapping the order of its stops in Ensenada and Cabo. Instead of finishing in Cabo with an overnight stay, it's now starting there, which could change the vibe of the trip a little bit. So why are all these changes happening? Ilya? Carnival hasn't really given specific reasons, but operational adjustments like this, they're not that unusual. It happens a lot. They help manage port congestion, balance the usage, ensure smoother experiences for all the cruisers involved. So if you're booked on one of these sailings, be sure to double check your itinerary and adjust any of the short excursions you've planned. And remember, there's still plenty of time to reschedule if these changes aren't good for you, if you don't like them. Moving on, let's talk about something a little more personal. Imagine boarding a Carnival cruise, excited to see your stateroom decorated for your birthday or to celebrate your favorite sports team, only to find out that once your decorations have been put up, they disappear. Yes, that's right. Some Carnival guests have reported that their door decorations have gone missing. It's not the worst thing that can happen, but it's definitely let's call it frustrating. So one guest on a recent sailing had their Buffalo Bills logo stolen from their door. Unfortunately, they reported to security. While Carnival did return it to the guest, the guest was still upset because no severe punishment was given to the thief. And this is where it gets a little tricky. Carnival's brand ambassador, John Heald, responded to the situation, explaining that while theft is never okay, this isn't something that typically results in disembarking passengers. Why? Well, sometimes these thefts are just pranks or maybe even mistakes. As annoying as it is to lose your personalized door decor, Carnival doesn't believe in forcing someone off the ship over something that they feel it's not an appropriate punishment for, I guess, something that minor. But here's the thing. If you've ever been on a Carnival cruise, you know how important those door decorations can be. Not just Carnival, but really any cruise. They help you stand out in the hallway and give you that personal touch. So, like, I don't know about you, but many a night returning to my cabin after, uh, let's just say, enjoying myself that evening. Sometimes a little hard to find out which cabin is yours because honestly, they all look the same. So having that personal decor, that personal decoration helps. So what can you do to prevent the decorations from disappearing? Well, it's difficult to stop someone from grabbing the decor, but Carnival does recommend using less expensive items and avoiding anything too valuable or irreplaceable. So in other words, you know, there's not a whole lot they're going to do about it. So, if you plan on decorating your door, don't use anything really personal or really important or expensive because if it goes missing, there's not a whole lot you can do. So stick to those items. They're simple, fun, maybe even generic, which, that might reduce the temptation of someone passing by. I don't know. Next, let's talk about something that's always a topic of debate on a cruise: snacks. Now, cruising offers plenty of food options, but there are some guests that have been requesting um, basically, to bring their own snacks. Um, and one of those guests reached out to John Heald and asked why aren't there complimentary snacks available at bars like you might find on land? Pretzels, beer nuts, that kind of thing. And basically, Mr. Heald said that that's just not something Carnival does. They don't offer free snacks at the bar for a couple of reasons: health and sanitation concerns. Um, you know, if you think about it, not too many bars, even on land these days, have big bowls of beer nuts laying around anymore. God only know. Well, you can just picture it. Um, so Carnival, at least, I think pretty much all cruise lines have some uh, policies in place where you can bring some of your own snacks on board. Chips, like Pringles, that kind of thing. Even protein bars, some of them, but they have to be um, sealed in the packaging from the manufacturer. If you're going on a particular cruise line, do a Google search or call your travel agent and say, "Hey, I want to bring, Pringles or protein bars or whatever. Am I allowed to?" You know, so you can bring some things on board, but check out the individual cruise lines policies on that before you do that. Next, it's a pretty shocking story that definitely makes you think twice about relying solely on cruise ship insurance. So a couple recently won a free cruise vacation on a Norwegian ship, the Encore. They were all set. They got on board, but unfortunately, one of the passengers got the flu. All right, so he went down to medical, and they treated him. It took like 3 days worth of treatments, and they go to get off of the ship at the end of their cruise, and they've got a $47,000 medical bill. That's right, $47,000. So they have cruise insurance. They have medical coverage. Medical coverage. They purchased $20,000 worth of travel insurance through NCL. NCL maxed out their credit cards. They had two credit cards on file. I'm not sure why they had, maybe one for each person. I'm not sure, but they maxed them out and they still owed $21,000. So the insurance claim hasn't been denied. It just hasn't been approved yet either. So now this, couple goes on this free cruise and, they get sick. It happens. And that's what you buy insurance for, right? Well, the cruise insurance hasn't covered it yet. Now this couple is now out 20 some odd $1,000 on their credit card, and they still are being told they owe another 21,000. Yeah. So I'm going to update as I learn more about this story. I'm going to update you because that's pretty bad in my opinion. You buy travel insurance just for this very reason, and then you get stuck with this massive bill. Hopefully, NCL makes it right. The insurance company makes it right, and they get that money back from their credit card, and everything gets handled. But know the details of your travel insurance, and arguably, I suggest to get a separate travel policy. There's a couple of travel insurance companies out there. My puppy Rocco agrees, that are that you can purchase directly. I would definitely look into some of those before I would get cruise line insurance. Now, cruise line insurance is not the worst out there, but yeah, I would definitely look around and make sure you had adequate coverage. Let's put it that way. So last but not least, if you are cruising this weekend, so I'm recording it, or I'm live today, Friday, January 31st. So if you're cruising out of Miami on Sunday the 2nd, get there as early as you can. Even if you're only, I know there are hotels that are 5 miles from Miami Cruise Terminal. Give yourself extra time. Give yourself an extra hour or two, because the Miami Marathon is happening on Sunday. So it's going to be even heavier traffic than usual, and traffic's always heavy going into Miami Cruise Terminal. So make sure that you give yourself extra time. There's going to be street closures, traffic delays. It's going to be a nightmare. The marathon goes through downtown Miami and along the MacArthur Causeway near the port. So it's not expected that's going to delay any of the ship's departures, but it's going to take extra time to get there. So there's roughly, I think they're expecting 15,000 participants in the marathon. So to expect double or triple that number in staff and watcher, what do you call them? Spectators. So if you're cruising out of Port of Miami, leave yourself extra time. It's going to be a bear. So yeah, that's about it for today. Covered, the news that you can use. Hope you have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe, like button and subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my updates. Have a good one.